You've heard us say it many times, go woke, go broke. Disney World attendance has fallen off a cliff because they just got too woke for the crowd. We've talked a lot on this show about Disney going so woke and being so out of control with moving to the left, with LGBTQ and gay pride rights and on and on and on. Things have gotten really bad at the parks this summer. In a general sense, this is the entrance to Walt Disney World in Florida. Crowd sizes over the July 4th holiday, which was just a week ago, were shockingly thin, according to tracking data provider Touring Plans. They had predicted low attendance, and it seemed that the low attendance came in under projections. And they are saying it's because of the woke Disney agenda. Disney's been involved in a very aggressive legal and political fight with the state of Florida, specifically the governor, Ron DeSantis. It started when the company opposed a bill that banned discussing sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. In other words, Florida had a bill that children between the ages of 5 and 8 should not be in a classroom where sex is discussed. Seems kind of obvious, doesn't it? Well, the company went after the governor and attacked the governor as not promoting safe sexuality and on and on and on. I, for the life of me, can't figure out why a private corporation would do that. I have no idea why that would have been done, why they thought that was the right thing to do, or even more importantly, why they moved forward getting into politics instead of staying in their lane, which is entertainment for kids and families and movies and TV shows and music and on and on and on and on and on. So the more Disney got involved in politics, the bigger the hit on their stock price. They have lost billions of dollars, not unlike Anheuser-Busch, not unlike Target and other major corporations that have sided with the crazy people against the 99% that don't feel that way. So according to these new numbers, there are no peak summer crowds. The Disney losses are overwhelming, and they're coming in worse and lower than the bottom pessimistic projections. In fact, check this out. Touring Plans, that's the agency that does the rating, they have a 10-point scale to measure crowd size. 10, you're packed. 1, you're closed. They've gotten a 6 on the average days. Then they had a level 5 on June 30th, and then numbers plunged to a reading of 2 on a scale of 10 on July 1st, and it peaked at a 3 and then a 4 on July 3rd, meaning they're losing a fortune because people are no longer coming to the crowds. And these are at parks that used to be 8 and 9 level attendance. And what one of the analysts said, we've never seen anything like this party season at the Magic Kingdom. It's absolutely crazy. Disney is saying, well, it's because the weather's hot. It's always hot in Florida, especially in July. That didn't do it. The analysts are saying if that 4th of July weekend couldn't turn it around, Disney's in big trouble in the short and long term. You know, it's interesting, and this is true of Disney, it's true of Anheuser-Busch management as well. When the management who's in charge of running the company, and their job is to make money for shareholders, that's what they're paid the big 7 and 8 figure salaries to do. Some of them 9 figures. When you run Disney, you walk away with a package that can also be worth $100 million in stock and other incentives. If you're not making money for your shareholders, in fact, you're losing money for them, shouldn't you change your policy? Doesn't that just make sense to you? You know what happened at Anheuser-Busch? The CEO has made 3 or 4 speeches where he has literally said, this is not a joke. He's ignored what happened with the Dylan Mulvaney controversy. He's ignored the fact that Bud Light stock is now down over $20 billion. $20 billion in losses since they signed up Dylan. All you'd have to say is, geez, we made a mistake. We're not going to do that again. We're going to go back to what we should be doing, making beer for people who like to drink beer. And we're going to support things like Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, triathlons, whatever, NASCAR. We're not going to get in politics, because when these companies get political, like Disney, and people say, hey, I just want to watch the movies that you used to make. You know, last week we talked about this movie. The name escapes me. They have the first trans character in a cartoon. It's this frozen looking thing. It's been outdrawn at the box office by almost all the movies that are released. Disney's going to lose several $100 million on it. If I'm a shareholder and I'm going to say to myself, where should I invest my money? Where can I make money? And where thematically am I aligned with the company I'm investing in? It's not Disney anymore. It's not Anheuser-Busch anymore. We talked about this last week. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light has gone from the #1 beer in America for like a decade, and they're down at 14 and dropping. They're going to end up not even in the top 10 or 20 by the time this is over. And they refuse to apologize. They just think it's going to go away, and it's not. Same thing at Disney. I hope at some point, and I mean this sincerely, these people that are running these companies get to the point where they realize, I shouldn't be in the business of making policy. I should be in the business, quite frankly, of making products that people want to buy. When I was a dad of young kids, I knew where I could get family-friendly entertainment. Disney, and then Disney Channel. And I rented Disney movies at Blockbuster because I knew there was no sex, there was no drugs, there was no sexuality. It was good versus evil, and at the end, good won. And that was a good lesson for my children. Now, Disney management has an agenda. They want you, America, to support their policy of promoting LGBTQ. And remember, what started this controversy in Florida was quite simply a law. Oh my gosh, I can't believe anyone would oppose a law that only said kindergarten, first, second, and third graders in public school in the state of Florida cannot be talked to about sexuality. Who would be against that? And why? Well, Disney attacked. And they thought the size of their park and the amount of revenue they were creating in Orlando and the surrounding community was enough for them to be able to bully the legislature in Tallahassee. And it backfired. And Florida pushed back. And they said, we're not changing this law. This is a good law. We're all about protecting the children. Get out of politics and go back to running theme parks. But they won't keep their nose out the door. And so the state looked at it and said, you know, you've been running your own place. You have your own government. Maybe it's time the state took over so we can institute good family values and maybe get you back on the right track. In the meantime, they continue to lose billions in stockholder value. No different than Target, no different than Anheuser-Busch, and every single company that is getting on the same crazy bandwagon. America does not want politics from their commercial product suppliers. They certainly don't want to be lectured about it. I don't think I would have a problem with the president of Disney making his personal opinion known, or the president of Anheuser-Busch talking about his personal opinions. But what I sure as heck do not want is that crammed down on me connected to their products, because to the extent that that's what they're doing, we walk away with our pocketbooks and our checkbooks and our credit cards, and we buy from somebody else. Take heed, American consumer suppliers. Get out of politics and go back to making good products, and you're going to be fine. You go political, you're going to go broke.